Yo, this shit is crazy. I'd like to give more praises to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, Rock Kwakadaj, and I'd like to give double honors to the elders that rule well, and citation to the elders and apostles and the brothers that labor in truth and doing the work diligently day and night and day, and to you sisters who's loving Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, respecting yourself, loving yourself, loving your husband, respecting your husband, loving your children, taking care of the home, and learning in silence, and doing the positive things. So we have a short little video right here. It said YNS shoot up kid's birthday party, and you could tell by the environment. You could tell by the way of how these people are raised. These people don't know how fortunate that they are that no one didn't get killed. You know what I'm saying? And by the grace and the mercy of the Lord, man, is very, 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 very important to have, man. We gotta be thankful for the Lord's mercy and grace, man, because a lot of us wouldn't be here to this day. The things that we've done, what I'm saying, in this flesh. And these young people, and they don't realize how loving the Lord is, man. But he's also terrible. These are warnings. These are warnings to repent and get away from the evil life, man. And these young Israelites here, they don't understand. First, you're doing a celebration. Two, the music that you're playing amongst children. Three, you have these young boys that's into mess, and you know that. And the mother is the lady with the red hair, and you could tell that she got nothing but these young boys in here that's that wants to be thugs. And let me tell you something about these YNs, man. These YNs, they have a lot of heart. I give them that. But they don't understand that terrible judgment is on its way. And every generation had their own typical YNs structured according to that decade. But these young folks today have no respect. You shoot up a party with children, kids, and who to say that they knew that they was having a party? But even so, you don't shoot up nobody's house. That's one of the worst things that you can do to violate somebody's rights. You know what I mean? And they really must hate you if they got to shoot up the place. They must know that this dude is in there, or they say, okay, this is the residence. This is family residence where they reside at, where they lay their head at. So we're gonna get them. If we can't get him, we're gonna get those that's close to him. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, guys. So, when you play with heat, it comes upon you. When you're in these streets, be prepared for heat. Because my thing is, what is this dude doing with a big ass Draco? He got a Draco in his hand. Where you get these guns from? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, and you got it at a party. So you know already that you got beef. Or if you lived there, you went straight for the gun. Now, depending on the state that they're in, they can carry guns. So if it's a state where he can bear arms, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But still, we got children in the midst of it. Come on. And then the mother, you could tell, like, this is what you condoning. This is what you raised. I didn't see one real man in here. I didn't see one real man. I see little boys with guns, scared. I see little girls running for their life. I see the mother, even she got a gun. So she know what time it is, And it's sad, man. It's really, really sad, man. But I don't feel sorry. But I don't feel sorry because these are things that come upon us as a people, and we're disobedient to the Lord. But I didn't hear that anyone lost their life. Thank y'all watching y'all shot, man. Cause it could have got real ugly, real dangerous. You know what I'm saying? And people could have just really, really, went out, man. You know what I'm saying? And it's terrible, man. It's terrible, man. So, let's get a couple scriptures, man. Let's go to Ephesians chapter 2, verse 8, man. And scripture says, "For by grace are ye saved through faith, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahweh." You understand? It's the gift of Yahweh. So you are saved through faith by His grace. Okay, you're saved through faith, but that faith got to be given to you. Watch this, and that not of yourselves, it is the gift of Yahweh. It's a gift. Let's jump down verse 9. Right? And 10. It says, "Not of his works, lest any man should boast." So it's not of our own doings, but it's the doings of the Lord. Okay? Verse 10. "For we are his workmanship, created in Yahweh Shai, unto good works, which Yahweh hath before ordained that we should walk in them." So we should walk in his what? In his likeness, right? Keeping his laws, his commandments, having respect, being obedient to your parents, respecting your neighbor, which is your fellow Israelite, respect the other men and women on this planet. Act accordingly, man. Act like you have some morals. Don't be out here just doing stuff and it's not making sense. Be upright. Conduct yourself in a rightful manner. When you're dealing with people, when you're dealing with others at the job and at school and other places, man, deal with yourself accordingly, man. You mess up a lot of blessings because of your actions, because of your doings. You're already deemed already because of our color. We already deemed because of our color. All right, and it makes things difficult because we go through this we go through this affliction, man. Okay? We go through this affliction as a people. But it doesn't have to be strenuous and bad for us. That's only if we do right in the eyes of the Lord, man. Okay? All right? Let's go to Isaiah 33:6. It says, "And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, and strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord is his treasure." So, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time. So when we're going through a hard time, right, wisdom and knowledge will be our stability. Keep a sane mind, to keep a rightful mind, to do things right, to be humble. And the Lord will work out his favor for you, And sometimes we go through things because it's not meant for us, at the time. Sometimes you have to be lonely so that the Lord can work with you. Sometimes it's hard because our flesh is weak, And, we have to clean up ourselves, man. Clean up the way we act toward each other, man. Clean up the act, man, because we're going through so much on this planet as it is. So we have a lot of adversity going on, and as us being people on this planet, we need adversity. We gotta go through things. We gotta go through things, man. I laugh because I chuckle at it because there's people out here feel like they don't need to go through things. They can just cruise through life. Just because if they have money, and if they don't have money, they feel like they don't believe in going through things to be better. And that's where they fully mistaken. Because people that have this type of attitude, they would never see great outcome. I don't care how much money you have in the world. You have to go through adversity. Everyone has to go through it. Everyone. Some point or another, everyone has to go through adversity. So in order to overcome adversity, depending on how long it is, you have to have wisdom and knowledge, so that stability shall be of thy times. That's the only way that's going to keep you sane. All right? And following his word. Okay? Let's go to Jeremiah 4:22. It says, "For my people is foolish. They have not known me. They are sottish children, and they have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge." They're wicked, man. Evil, man. So you're in there, you wise to do good, but to have, you're wise, you're wise to do evil, but to do good you have no knowledge. And this is going according to those that's shooting at the house too. Okay? But, in a right, I'll play devil's advocate for a second, to this particular family, right? They have a little function within their family, that's between them. You know what I'm saying? But the results of what those people do come back on them, come back on you. They having a family function, and boom. So, I don't know what's the backstory behind it, but it's not cool, man. All right, let's go to I want to go to damn. What's that? Oh, it came back to me. Salakia. No, Ecclesiastes. I think the 3rd chapter. Yep, the 3rd chapter. It says, to everything, Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, verse 1, it says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Okay, so there's a time for everything, and it's going to explain what that is. Verse 2, a time to be born and a time to die. Okay? So you guys almost died. I was telling the truth. I ain't seen no one get hurt, not to my knowledge. But the Lord was giving you a warning. It was almost time for you to die. A time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted. So we all had a time, to be born, and always have a time to die. And it says a time to plant, to grow, and a time to pluck up when it's ready, that which is planted. Verse 3, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up. So people feel like they don't need to go through adversity. Like I was saying, there's a time to break down and it's a time to build up. We got to go through things. Look at Job. Job went through so much adversity. We're going to call him the adversity man. He went through so much. He was breaking down, but the Lord built him up. But what did the Lord do for him? The Lord proved to Satan, right, that he's my faithful servant. He's not going to betray me. He knew that. The Lord knew that. They had a wager to see, not out of fun, to prove the point to Satan that my child here, I know his heart. I know how he feels. He's very faithful and he would not betray me. Did he have doubt? Of course, because he questioned the Lord on certain things. But it didn't mean that he lost his faith. We all go through that. I've been through that. I was going through it currently. Sometimes we got to keep taking L's to get to a W. You understand? So in order for us to keep a good head on our shoulders, we have to acknowledge that it's a spiritual warfare. You understand? We gotta go through it, man, because it's gonna show you who you are. A lot of people have experienced pressures. A lot of people can't handle pressure. A lot of people can't handle it. They break down and they don't never recover. Some people lose their mind. Some people just give up. You know, I always been through things, man. And like since I was a little kid, I always had adversity. And I said, God, why do I got to keep going through this to get that? Let me just get this. So I want to go through that all the time. But that's not how he made my life to be. He always made my life to go through something because he know that I can always overcome. You know, I went through adversity. When I was growing up playing ball, I got cut from teams and got better, made the teams on the first tryout. Jobs didn't go do good, and I had to do interviews after interviews and got jobs, and I was suffering for a while. I always had the up and down, and the Lord, I always trusted the Lord, and the Lord always pulled me through, always. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing that the Lord can do. He had done this countless of times for me, even when I didn't deserve it, even when I was being disobedient to him, All right? So let's continue on. This is verse 4. A time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance. So there's a time for everything. This is a balance. This is called a balance of life. So it's a time to cry, it's a time to laugh, it's a time to be sad, it's a time to dance, to make merry, to be happy about it. Right? Verse 5, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together. It's a time where you're going to gather stones to fight these things, man. Not literal. It's literal and figurative, but it's more figurative, like, it's allegorical. It's like you taking these stones and you're preparing yourself for spiritual battle, and when it's not time, the Lord has already have this battle pass through you. The storm doesn't last forever. It eventually ends, but you don't want it to end with you when it's ending your life. You gotta go through this, man, so you can see how you are as a person at the end of it, how you are, how you conduct yourself, how you can handle this, how people can see you overcome it. You understand? But you're letting the Lord know that you're holding yourself 10 toes down and you're not being a coward, It says a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. Sometimes we're not going to embrace each other. Sometimes we're going to battle against each other and have a conflict with each other. We're not going to embrace each other. There's a time that we're not going to embrace each other. There's a time where, we good for a moment, and then sometimes we ain't good. So sometimes reconciliation can happen, but you got to take things slow. You can't just put yourself in a situation where you're going to keep hurting yourself, or where it's not good for your mental. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we got to refrain from embracing. I'm not even embracing him. It's okay. It's okay to feel that way. People feel like you can't feel this way. You can feel that way because he good to them. I mean, he wasn't good to you, and you may not even do nothing. He probably saying he just don't fuck with you. It's okay to not to be joyful for that person. It's okay. It doesn't show that you have hatred. It's just that y'all just don't get along for whatever reason. And sometimes someone may do something to you that ain't fair, and then they get embraced by other shit. And how does it make you feel? So I can't tell a person what not to feel and how to feel. It's what you do with that feeling. You know what I'm saying? And don't act out of impulse to hurt or kill someone because something ain't going your way. And I don't think that's the best decision for a person to make. And that's not wise. Okay? Verse 6. It says a time to get, a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away. So sometimes Some people may have a season of blessing where they got some money coming in, or somebody may have a blessing, oh, they just got a house. Somebody just have a blessing, oh, I just got a new promotion on my job. Somebody had about somebody just lost a job. Somebody just replaced that person that lost a job with this job. Somebody done graduated from that position to another position so that another person can get that position. Things are funny like that, you know. So that's why I pray to the Lord that hopefully that my time will come, to take care when I gotta take care, because I have 2 major exams coming up, and hopefully if I do well, if it's of the Lord, if I could do well, and I'll be the one that be in that position, you know what I'm saying? And because a lot of people that I know is retiring from that position, like 6 or 7, maybe 10 people are retiring from this position that I do at my job. So hopefully I can grab a spot and just be grateful, and just going in with confidence and just do what I got to do, man, because it's not easy, but I don't like it easy. I like a challenge, and I like to push myself. So, and if the Lord bless me, with a good outcome for that day, man, I'm grateful, So this applies for myself too, you know what I mean? Verse 7, a time to rend and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. Sometimes it's time to be silent. Sometimes you got to speak, So, everything we do is say it comes to the light, man. So sometimes it's not, you got to know when to be quiet. You got to know when to talk. Hold on, guys. Verse 8, a time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. People say, oh, I don't like that word hate. But that's not reality what you're saying. We're not saying to be being deliberate to have hatred, but there's a time you can't hate something. You may not feel like, damn, I really hate this fucking job. So don't tell me that you cannot say you don't hate something. It is the time to hate, because the Lord hates. But he doesn't thrive on hate itself. He thrives on love and mercy and his kindness. But he can hate. You okay? So don't sit here and tell us that you cannot hate. People say that is because they don't know how to channel their emotions. You can hate. And it's proper to do that. Not the kind of hate that you're talking about, oh, I'll just hate you just because I'm a jealous nigga. No, not that. I'm talking about hate something where something is going against the righteous grain. Something's going against something that's ethical. You can hate something that you know that it's tedious and it's petty. That's what I mean. You can hate that. I'm not saying get up on your high horses and hate things. Sometimes you may hate a person's action, what they do. Because they dealing with shit that, that they're not healed from. And then it comes to you, and then you like, damn, what I do to deserve that? You know what I'm saying? And it's not because what you did to deserve it, it's what you're allowing. So it is what it is, man. All right? So, yeah, let me get this. Another one too, man. Yeah, let me go to Mark 8:36. Scripture says, for what shall it profit a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul? So what shall it profit for us, man? So the life in the streets is what you're willing to sacrifice and profit the criminal activity in the street, and then and the reward is for you to lose your life. So that's what we trading life for. It's not good, man. It's not good. All right. So I hope this video was edifying, man. Don't trade roses for shit. Don't exchange guns. For knives. Don't which knives can be deadly. But you guys know what I'm saying. Don't change something that's not conducive for you. So I hope the video was edifying. I hope you guys have a blessed day. Shalom.